We'll jump right into it. Aronia lowscape hedger. We've talked about this plant off and on, but we really like it. Very tough, native. Um, it can take a wide range of soils. It can be a little on the wet side. It can be on the dry side. It can take heavy soils, light soils. The nice thing about it is it stays very, compact. It's a hedge type, so it's going to get a little bit of height to it, but it stays very compact, uniform. It's a very uh, tidy plant. So some of the aronias get a little rangy, kind of put them off in the distance, but this plant here can really be shown off, and then it gets that brilliant, bright fall color. Um, that color puts puts a burning bush to shame in the fall. So great fall color, nice clean foliage throughout the year. We got several thousand of these available. We'd like to see them move. Next is Buxus Winter Gem, 3 gallons. We did run out of the squat sevens. So we really don't have a squat seven. We don't have a velvet. We don't have a winter gem right now. We've sold out. We got new ones coming online for June, but we just wanted to show you the 3 gallon, how big it is. It's up above that 15 inches on spec. So make sure we're talking about that. I know it's not a perfect sub, but just hopefully you can bring that up in a conversation that these things are really solid, heavy threes, and we got good availability on it. Next is Chemcypris mops in a 2. You can see there we got a real nice package going on there. We did run out of squat sevens, so we got some real nice 2s and some. I think we still have availability on 3s. I think so. Not very many. Okay. But we do have 1,000 plus 2s. We do have another crop coming online of squat sevens. There again, it's going to be June. Yeah. So there, we did do some trimming on these crops to keep them kind of low. We had, and not wouldn't really call it complaints, but some concerns where they were getting a little tall last year. So we took that to heart and made sure that these are nice, compact, got a good spread to them. So hopefully you can take a look at those. Next is Corliss, just straight Contorta in a 3 gallon. We do have 500 plus of these available. For the filberts, we're out of the red. Just a tiny number, but we're very close. But these look great. You can see the dormant picture. That's a today picture, how much branching we have on it. And then you can see the photo off to the side there was towards the late summer. This plant here is also fairly adaptable for soils. There are some care that you have to watch for filbert. The one is filbert blight. So they do have to stay in an area where they got good air movement generally. That helps to keep that disease from getting a hold of them. But, plant's been around for a very long time. I think most people know about it. Can be a real tough plant. Just needs some good air movement when you plant it. So next is variegated grass, just straight variegata in a 2. This is a nice mid-size package that we started doing a few years back. We do have some availability on this. We're kind of running a little thin on some of the grasses, some of the numbers. With the zebras, I think we're out of the zebras, but remember we still have bandwidth. I just want to throw that one in there. Bandwidth is a perfect sub for zebra grass. It almost looks identical, and the nice thing about bandwidth is it's non-invasive. The variegata here, just has the variegation along the leaf, leaflet, and also most of these grasses are fairly deer resistant, which is something that people don't bring up too much. But the miscanthus types, for the most part, have good deer resistance, so deer don't tend to feed on them. You get that nice bloom in late season. If we can use that to kind of sub some of the other varieties we're out of. So, and I am working on that. I'm trying to find some other sources for some of these grass. So, let you know what I find. Next is Ilex Royal Family. Here we got the three. I think we are sold out of the Squat 7, but we do have these real nice threes. You can see there we got real good sizing. The Royal Family, just to remind everybody, is a prince and princess. That is our best seller. We tend not to sell the singles very much anymore. So there's 2 males and 2 females in every pot, and that way you're guaranteed you got good pollination going on. So we got 1,000 plus of these. We also do China Dynasty, which is a combo between China Boy and China Girl, and then we still have some of the singles, the maids and stuff like that. So keep Holly in mind. Next is the Blue Stallion. We wanted to show you this one. This is a very kind of a loose upright. It's not a formal, tight pyramid, but it definitely is more of an upright plant. You can get some real good height out of this one. It is a male, so it's not going to get berries on it. But all the Mansurvia holly, for the most part, can pollinate each other. So this could be used to pollinate, princess or maid or whatever. If somebody was doing a single planting, it could also be used as a male pollinator. So the nice thing about this one here is, holly for the most part have really good deer resistance. The Mansurvia, this one here has excellent deer resistance. It does have a slight toxin in the tissue that they tend to stay away from. And we got 750 of those of that size. So nice, big, beefy 3 gallons, well over our 15-inch. Next is Roost Bale Tiger. Bale Tiger was developed through Bailey's, through their breeding program. We only carry it in a 5-gallon. That's kind of the upright 5. It's in the first edition program. They tend to look a little more sparse, when they drop that rack off, the leaf rack. So when that falls off, there's just 2 to 3, sometimes 4 stems in the pot. But, it's a substantial plant, and when it breaks out, it'll really fill out. So if somebody's not real familiar with it, it grows just like regular roost. Roost is a native in our area, and it can tend to spread a little bit in the landscape, but I don't think it's that bad. It's easy to control the spread of it. So I try to tell people not to worry too much about it. Extremely drought tolerant, very adaptable, great for naturalized areas, things like that. And it does get, as the plants get older and more established, it does get like a bloom on the end, which you can actually grind up and use it for whatever. So next is Spirea. Sparkler.
Dave, can we go back to, we've got a lot of confused, what are we grinding the bloom for?
Well, sumac is a traditional plant that some people used it as a like a food, for food, for flavoring. It does have a fairly like a stringent type of, like a lemony type of taste to it, and it was also used as medicinal items, so it does have some antimicrobial type of properties. So Native Americans used it exclusively. They used it a lot. So obviously it's not used that much anymore. But I'm sure you'll find it all over the internet about there is I remember my father telling me there's like thousands of uses for that thing. So
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying. I saw
Yeah.
some faces in the room kind of go, what?
Cheryl just looked it up on her phone, and it will help you with diarrhea. So
Nice. Let's circle back to something Tony presented. Goes back, yes.
Yeah.
All right. There it
any
is.
kind of intestinal tummy issues, you're all set. So
All right.
yeah, so use that as a selling point. So Spirea Pink Sparkler. So this is a newer one through the first edition program. We're carrying it in a 2-gallon. This is a really cool looking spirea. Scroll down a little bit and show that flower. It follows its name because it really sparkles. It's got some shine to the flower, and it's very striking. A lot of times spirea flowers are, when you get up close, they're a little dull. This one actually produces a wax on its petiole that really, when there's sunlight, it sparkles, it shines, and that's why they selected it. And it's a really cool flower. It will repeat bloom, but you need to do a little bit of work by trimming the old blooms back. It will rebloom again. But large bracts of flowers, it really gets covered with flowers. Typical of the newer spireas, all these new varieties have excellent resistance to bacterial spot, whether it's in the first edition program or the Proven Winners program. They've really done a lot of work to keep that foliage clean, keep them from defoliating, where some of the old standards have that trouble. And there's no reversion in it where you would get like white kind of stems, streaks in it. It has good color all year long. So fairly big leaf. So it has a pretty big leaf to it too. So it stays nice and full when you have that look, when you have a lot of full foliage and then it presents a flower on top, it really sets it out. So nice plant. Next, Taxus repandens. These things are gorgeous. We really need to move these. We need your help. There's 345 of them, but you can see there just how big they are, and they're just perfect. They're not going to last, much past the spring season, so we want to put a lot of focus on this one. Repandens is a low mounding spreader. That's not going to get much higher than that you see in the photo there. It's really known for its spreading. It's kind of graceful. It's completely different from Everlow. Everlow just grows straight out. It just shoots straight out, where this one is kind of, mounding, a little more grace to it. And it's fairly adaptable. The only thing with repandens is it doesn't like real wet soils. Sometimes you can get away with that with a lot of the Taxus. This one here, I would stay away from that type of environment, but it can take drought situations very well. So, and heavy soils is okay as long as you got some drainage. So,